Hello and welcome. We are going to be solving the question above under circuit analysis. So we'll be analyzing the circuit. We are going to be solving this using current division rule. All right. In my previous video, I have shown you how to solve three resistors when they are in parallel, right? Using a direct formula, right? But here I want to apply the current division rule to solve. So watch me step by step. All right, now we know that current division rule is between two resistors, right, in parallel, right? Now but here we are having three resistors. Adding being, it is just adding being we are not having this connection here. Let's say we are not having this 20 resistor connected to this. We are just going to be having just 10 ohms and 15 ohms connected. So if I want to find I1, it's going to be what? 15 divided by 10 plus 15, then multiply by total current that is coming, right? Now the same method is what we are going to apply. Now it will now be between we are going to, since we want to find I1 firstly, and then we know that we are going to pick this resistor. That is, now we know that this 15 ohms and this 20 ohms, they are in what? They are in parallel. So we are going to resolve them to be in form of one resistor. Is that clear? So and you understand how to when we have two resistors in parallel, you still recall how to bring them into their equivalent resistance, right? So now this is going to be 15 multiplied by 20 divided by what? Divided by 15 plus 20, right? So if we do that, that is how to convert these two resistors to be in what? To be in their equivalent form. So it now means that we can therefore now apply current division rule between this resistor and the equivalent form of these two. Is that clear? So and we know that from the formula of our current division rule, we are going to be picking, for us to find I1 here, we'll pick the equivalent resistors here all over what? 10 plus the equivalent resistors. I hope you understand. So it means that I1 rather will be equals to the equivalent resistance here is what? 15 multiplied by 20 all over what? 15 plus 20, then divided by 10 plus this equivalent resistor. So 10 plus 15 multiplied by 20 all over 15 plus 20. So we are going to multiply this by the total current that is coming in, which is what? 10 ampere. So we multiply this by 10. So if you solve this correctly, you are going to have your I1 to be equals to what? 15 multiplied by 20 divided by 15 plus 20 all over 10 plus 15 multiplied by 20 over 15 plus 20 multiplied by 10. You can press it directly in your calculator, and you are going to have nothing but what? 4.615 4.615 ampere. So that is what you are going to have. All right, so now for us to solve for I2, so I2, how do we go for I2? Now this is our I2, right? So our I2 will also be the equivalent resistance between 10 ohms and what? And 20 ohms all over what? 15 plus what? The equivalent resistance between the two. So it means that this is going to be, for us to find I2, is going to be 10 multiplied by, let's take 10 and 20 to be in their equivalent form, that is their parallel, right? So it's going to be 10 multiplied by 20 all over what? 10 plus 20 all over what? All over 15 plus what? Plus 10 multiplied by 20 all over what? 10 plus 20. Then we are going to multiply this by what? By 10. So if you press this directly in your calculator as well, you are going to have 3.076 ampere. I2 will be equals to 3.076 ampere. All right, so I wanted to find I3 and drop the answer for I3 in the comment section. I would love to know that. All right, and if you don't understand this method, of course I know you understand. If you want to still use the direct method to solve this, all you just need to do is to let me just show you for I1. The direct method for I1 will be equals to So I will just come here. This is my I1. So let's call this one R1, R2, R3, right? So the formula now is going to be what? 1 all over R1 all over 1 all over R1 plus 1 all over R2 plus 1 all over R3. Then we are multiplying by the total current that is coming in. First, for you to find I2 is going to be 1 all over R2, right? Then all over the total. For you to find R3, I3 is going to be 1 all over R3 all over what? The total of everything that we have at the denominator. I hope you understand. You can try this and you are still going to have similar answer. I'm just showing you the way of doing this, because when you come across different textbook, some textbook you are going to see them using this method, and sometimes it's going to be confusing. That is why I am balancing the two for you. You know, in Tutor Jerry Academy, we simplify engineering to you. So please don't forget that we also have a well simplified and structured handwritten materials written by us. So you can order for yours on circuit analysis and every other courses we have treated on our channel. You can reach out to us by going to our description. You see a link, that will, a WhatsApp link there. Click on the link and you can send us a message directly on our WhatsApp, and so that you order for your own material. And if today is your first time of coming across our content, please do well to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that anytime we upload a video like this, you will be the first to receive the notification. And also don't forget to share this video with your colleagues who might be in need of it. Don't be stingy with knowledge. Thank you.